Good morning. Thank you, Linda. Hello, everyone. Let us take this moment to honor the Christ light within us. And as we behold this flame, let us know this to be yourself, one another, everyone, all beings. This light is you. You without your physical body looks like this, a spark of the divine. And what will you do this week to release the ego, the shadows that obscure your light, the truth of who you are? So let us behold this light as ourselves and one another this morning, and from here on in to the best of our ability. And so we take this time this morning to open in prayer. And so I invite you to close your eyes if you wish, and allow my words to be your words. And as I turn within, I center in my heart space, this place oh so familiar to me, where I find peace, love, compassion. This place where I know my wholeness. And I take this time in prayer to turn away from anything that doesn't resemble wholeness, that's a distraction from the truth of who I am. And I am grateful to be here this morning, to be in self-remembrance, to remind and be reminded of my life for the truth that it is impermanent, this human condition, that there are infinite possibilities for all that it is that I hope for, dream of, for myself and for those who I love, or for humanity at this very challenging time. And so through my breath, through this peace within, I uplift myself and therefore those around me and all whose life I touch with this love, with this understanding, with this knowledge that life is here for me to grow, to expand, to be my highest possibility. And so in gratitude for being together in community, to be supported, to be the love we wish to see in the world, we release this prayer knowing that this prayer lives on as me, through me, in me, around me, and I am grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen.
Hey gang, not sure what happened to our wonderful service facilitator Linda, but I guess I could jump in here for the land acknowledgement. We would like to acknowledge the Algonquin Nation on whose traditional unceded territory we are holding this online service.
Like me to be the backup coach?
Oh, that would be great. Thank you.
Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play.
My apologies. I did all that talking and I was muted and had my video off. Apologies.
All right. I'm glad you're back, Linda.
Thank you, Sheila. And yes, Linda McCabe, I am here. I am on. I am present now. I had a nice run through with the video off and the mic off. So thank you, Sheila, for jumping in and acknowledging the Algonquin Nation. It's a very important part of our service. It's a beautiful day to be part of a community that's growing together, that's evolving together. And I want to thank Susan for this beautiful opening prayer. I really appreciate it that you included life is here for me. Life is here for us. And we get to expand into that. We get to discover ourselves. We get to know ourselves as we embrace the life that is here for us. And so what a wonderful reminder that all of life is supporting us. And as we move forward in our service now, let us stand together with our opening joy song, written and performed by Harold Payne and Faith Riviera.
Love has taken all that I won't let go of us now.
Something here is calling us forward, upward motion. It drops in one ocean, roll on.
Will you rise up with me today? Lift up your voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with a world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now.
Every day's a chance you can do something amazing to feel your passion blazing and shine.
Paint with every vision, dance in new directions, explode to new heights in your mind.
I will rise up with you today.
Lift up my voice.
Lift up my voice and boldly say, we are the ones we've been waiting for.
Live the dream of your highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Share your gifts with a world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's a moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Hey. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word, one dream, one voice, one heart, one word. Stand together. One dream, one voice, one heart, one word. Stand together. Live the dream of your highest calling, be the hope of a new day dawning. We're the ones who can make a difference. Let's stand together. Yeah, yeah. Share your gifts with a world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the moment for our greatness. Let's stand together now. Stand together.
Live the dream.
A new day dawning.
Be the hope.
Share your gifts.
Stand together now.
Share your gifts with a world that's waiting for a change that we're all creating. It's the
Wow, there has never been a more important time in the history of our planet, our species, than now to stand together. So much, even in 1 week, has happened. The US elections have been held. They are full of controversy and challenges. And yet, what is our role? Our role is to remain neutral, no matter what appears to happen, no matter who is elected president. The more I understand and experience, the more I realize that we must learn to consistently be in our hearts, be objective, to remain out of judgment, to extend love, and most importantly, to strengthen our relationship with nature. And that is no tall task. That requires consistent discipline and commitment. My teachers, Sananda and Sakina, share that Gaia, our Mother Earth, is always balancing herself. And it is us humans, not Mother Nature, that is out of balance. Let us be part of the solution by bringing ourselves into balance with nature. We do that through cultivating a practice of stillness, gratitude, and peace. When we are in this space, we radiate this frequency into the world, even while we're in our homes, thus contributing to creating the golden age for all. Last week, we explored the fascinating history of A Course in Miracles with our guest speaker, Marianne Buchowski. And I'm delighted that we are taking another deep dive into A Course in Miracles with Marianne's unique and gifted perspective. For me, A Course in Miracles truly guides us towards understanding oneness, understanding the nature of love, and understanding spiritual truth. So Marianne, I welcome you back, and we look forward to hearing your wisdom later in our service. When we can embrace the loving intelligence and interconnection of the universe that we are a part of, we are experiencing our vision. Know it with me, an awakened world celebrating oneness. And take a breath. And pull up in your mind one example this week where you witnessed an awakened world celebrating oneness, where maybe you were the awakened one and you were celebrating oneness. And we do this through our mission, expanding consciousness, transforming lives. The Unity Worldwide theme for 2020, quite a perfect one, isn't it? Perfect vision, seen through a spiritual lens. So it's a cleaning of our lens, and not just seeing with our human eyes, it's really learning to see with our spiritual eyes, that third eye in the center of our forehead, or we may call it our first eye. And how we see the world changes everything. And our theme for November is interconnection. And say with me together, like rivers flowing from one source, we are all connected. And I'd like you to watch this beautiful video from Unity Worldwide Ministries on the power of interconnection. And as you do, reflect on the many ways your life is interconnected with others. What a beautiful video. You know, it reminds me of when I was in Cairo in January and I was on a small little side street in a residential area, and all of a sudden I look up and there's two camels being ridden by me. Just reminded me in that video with the two camels. So let us turn to our announcements. As you know, USCO has a new website, and I hope you've checked it out. It's really quite beautiful, and you will find out that it is absolutely easy to navigate. And in that navigation, I hope you have especially checked out our calendar, which I find really fascinating. So we have every Sunday service, and if you click on that, it tells you about the service, who the guest speaker is, a little bit about that, and it also gives you the Zoom link. And not only that, I'm sure some of you have noticed that if you go back the next day, that Zoom link is turned into the link to the recorded session. So it is so easy, and Sheila's busy uploading the archives of YouTube videos from previous months as well. So we will have all of that available to you as just one small feature of this new interactive website. And if you look on the Monday, November 16th, you will see that the film, which we'll talk about in a minute, is on there, and the link to pay directly for your tickets is there. So imagine how much easier life is getting just with a click off, you know, our computer, the mouse, our touch key, or whatever you call it. So yes, we are absolutely thrilled, and thank you, Susan, and thank you, Greg, for all of the work and the incredible creativity that's been put into this. And we look forward to even more expansion going forward. And coming up, Brenda, I know you're on because you were going to jump in for me when I forgot my video. So please join us and tell us a little bit about this wonderful film.
Oh, well, the excitement just grows. As most of you know, Robin Blackburn McBride, back in October during her talk, threw out a seed. She just cast her seed, suggesting that as a community, we should watch the beautiful film, Marion Woodman Dancing in the Flames. And when she threw that out into the ether, it landed in my fertile soil. And I thought, oh, I can make this happen. So golden threads are just interweaving, and this is going to be a wonderful night. Please be here. And what I'm thinking is that because our theme in November is interconnection, I think this film on November 16th is a wonderful way for us to reach out beyond our community and invite people to spend an evening with us watching an amazingly good film. I know lots of people that we know that appreciate this kind of level of conversation. Might get their spidey senses up about being invited to church, but this is a whole different thing. This is just a community watching a really cool documentary. So what I'm suggesting, and I'm going to throw the ball out into the court, treat your friend, offer everybody a ticket. They're $11. You're going to take somebody out for coffee for that these days. Our social engagements are quite limited, and this is a wonderful way to just connect us all because it's our month of interconnection. So please join me, and I've got my angel wings are working on some very special guests, and we'll know lots more about that next week. In the meantime, think about people that would enjoy seeing this film, and go to dancingintheflames.com if you'd like to find out more about Marion and about Andrew Harvey and about the director Adam Reed and about the film itself and see the trailer. dancingintheflames.com is the place to do that. In the meantime, use the links to get your order in and pay for your tickets, and then Sheila sends out the Zoom link. And then if you buy a ticket for a friend or two or three, you can just share it with them. Hope to see, I know I'll see you there. I'm not even hoping, I know I'm going to see you there. It's going to be a great night. Thank you, Linda.
Can't you just see or feel the excitement building? And Brenda, you are a hostess extraordinaire here. And you're right, your angel wings are spreading, and they're gathering. And we're just on edge wondering what all your surprises are going to be. So moving on, I hope you've had an opportunity to check out Insight Timer. It is a free app It is more than, it's like the world at your fingertips. And there are amazing talks, courses, music, events. Like there's something like 18 million people participating in Insight Timer. There are thousands every single day. You have a wide variety, like I think there's over 1 million meditations to choose from. I could be wrong in the number, but it's infinite. And there's no way you're going to even get a little fraction of this. So go on, visit www.insighttimer.com. And a reminder to join our newsletter. You want to keep up with USCO? USCO is a happening place these days. Lots of just expansion, lots of positive energy coming into our community. And we're really excited to share this with you. So please email the office at officeunityottawa@yahoo.ca, and Sheila will be more than happy to add you to our list. So, Get Ready My Soul, written and performed by Daniel Namath. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, our souls, because more is yet to come. Let's have a listen.
Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Everything I've ever done, everything I've ever seen, everything I've lost or won, everything I've ever dreamed has brought me here to the present moment, here to a new beginning here. And I'm seeing life so clearly now. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. 'Cause here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Here I go, deeper, deeper, deeper than I've ever been before. Here I go, closer, closer, closer to my sacred source. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
Wow. Get ready. Get ready, my soul. Are you ready? Everyone, is your soul ready to proceed? And I'd like to invite Penny to come on to read today's daily word. Penny.
Thank you, Linda. Good morning, everyone. Today's message is on healing. I embrace the healing flow of divine life. If my body experiences any kind of health challenge, I turn within to release all fear and all concern as I affirm that illness is not part of my true identity. I remember that wholeness is my birthright as a spiritual being. I surrender any anxiety as I fill my consciousness with healing thoughts. My mind's eye sees each cell of my body aglow with the energy of divine life. In prayer, I express appreciation for all of my body's marvelous functions. I commit to taking time to bless my body with rest, exercise, and good nutrition. I speak affirming words of truth to encourage my body's healing response. I give thanks for the healing that I know is already on its way to me. I am grateful to receive healing and know wholeness. And today's scripture reading is from John chapter 10 and verse 10. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Penny. And now I would like to invite our prayer partner for this week, Susan Hagar, to please come and share the affirmative prayer with the community. Thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Linda. So as many of you know that within the Unity movement, we speak about 12 spiritual abilities within, although of course there are more. And this month we are focusing our attention on the power of power. This is the ability to master, have dominion, and control. Our disciple for this power is Philip, the power over thoughts and feelings. The color is purple, and the location is the root of the tongue, as you see in the picture. So let us say together this affirmative statement. I have the power to create my world. And we know it's true because we talk about this often at Unity. This month we are holding in prayer Unity Church of Agape, Scarborough, Ontario. So we would like to take this opportunity to hold in prayer those whose names you have lovingly placed in the chat box, for those who are holding in your heart that you are praying for, and for the world, knowing that we are having an experience of oneness these days. And as we think of the power of power, this power over our thoughts and feelings, we know we live in a thought universe. I'm sure you've heard, as a man thinketh, so is he. And so our thoughts, our feelings create power for us. And so where we have 99% of the time things are going right, and there's that 1%, we have the power to shape where we are putting our thoughts. So let us take this into prayer and pray for those who we have in mind. So I invite you to close your eyes and turn within and center into your heart space, this place of stability, of knowing, of caring, of nourishing. And we call in all of those who are praying for. And we are one with them. We know there's no separation. And so that those thoughts we are holding for them are powerful. They bring harmony, healing, love, whatever it is that is needed. We call in now through the power of prayer to uplift, to transform, to inspire, to bring comfort, because we are powerful. And through our thoughts, we change and grow and expand, and we can feel better for the power of this mind. So we take this time and we consider these people, these situations, and we know there are infinite possibilities beyond our wildest imagination for healing, because divine mind is present in everything, big and small. And there is magic and miracles in each moment of every day. And so we release this prayer knowing that our thoughts are creating this beautiful reality that we are experiencing. And we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sue, so much for reminding us of the power of our thoughts to lead us in a positive, uplifting direction. So, before I introduce our guest speaker, if any of you are still on gallery view, this is an opportunity to go to speaker view. You can do that if you see the word gallery view at the top right-hand corner of your screen. Click on that to bring you to speaker view, or you can hover over your picture and there will be some little boxes and choose a smaller box. And that will give you speaker view. So let us begin. Last week, I shared how A Course in Miracles came into my life. And this week, I want to share how it supported, well, one example of how it supported me. When my 3 children were small, I was a single mom, I had a full-time job, and children with multiple challenges. And sometimes I experience multiple challenges. I'm sure the parents in the audience can appreciate this. And when I would find myself going down one of those rabbit holes, well, then I would go to the fridge and I would read my handwritten note from A Course in Miracles, lesson 24, that said, above all else, I want to see ... differently. And then I would go, I can choose differently. And I would then go to the window and I would stand there looking outside and I go, I can see differently. I choose to see differently. I can choose differently. I can choose differently. I can choose differently. Until I got to a place where I could see and feel a different response. So that quote was a lifesaver to me. And with that said, we are truly blessed to welcome gifted A Course in Miracles teacher, Marianne Buchowski. I'm sorry, Marianne, if I'm not saying your last name right, to USCO. Marianne is a world-renowned, longtime teacher with the Circle of Atonement in Sedona. And the Circle is a bridge to the wisdom of A Course in Miracles. She worked for the Circle in Sedona for several years, returning to Ottawa in 2004 and founded with her husband, James Gregory, Course Oasis, the Circle's first satellite organization. She is an author of the beautiful new edition subtitled, Circle of Atonement. Additionally, Marianne is responsible for the Circle's Teacher of Pupils Training Program and study group leader training and support. She works and teaches from her home base in Ottawa, and aren't we fortunate? So I feel truly blessed with her yes to speak twice on A Course in Miracles. Marianne's talk is entitled A Course in Miracles, Walking the Path, Part 2. She will lead the meditation at the end of her message, and that will bring us into special music. So let us open our hearts and extend a warm USCO welcome, receiving Marianne back. Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you, Linda, for that lovely introduction. And I am very grateful to be back. So Linda asked me to speak about two things today. One is the complete and annotated edition of A Course in Miracles. And the other is how the Course can help us in these challenging times, these times of uncertainty, and even critical times. So let me start off with the complete and annotated edition, which is lovingly called by us the CE, much shorter than complete and annotated edition, but I'll talk about that later. And Linda mentioned that I worked in Sedona, Arizona with the Circle of Atonement, and I still do. The most of my work is done still with the Circle. And the Circle of Atonement is an organization that it's world-renowned for sure, now mainly because of Robert Perry, the founder and lead teacher of A Course in Miracles and at the Circle. And the basic approach of the Circle is to be as faithful as possible to what is written in the Course. To let the words of Jesus in the Course speak to us and tell us what they mean, rather than us telling them what they mean. So basically, what Robert taught me way back in the early days, and we still teach everyone nowadays, is keep your head down, your eyes on the page. The answers are there. So if you're doing this or that, you're looking for past learning, your own personal thoughts to put on the teachings. And so we really discourage that and just say, keep your eye on the page and on the words. So last week I talked a bit about the beginnings of A Course in Miracles. And today I want to expand on that a bit by talking about how the CE came into being. I mentioned that Helen didn't really like receiving this dictation from Jesus. She called it her guilty secret, her little guilty secret. And she was an academic. She was a PhD in psychology, research psychologist. She was part of, as someone said yesterday, the intellectual intelligentsia in New York City. And very scientific. And so to start receiving words that came from Jesus was not very pleasant for her. She did not like it at all and resisted it all along the way. She liked lofty ideas and beautiful prose and beautiful poetry. And she liked when that was how Jesus expressed himself. But in the early days, months of receiving the dictation, Jesus spoke to her about very practical issues. How her life was going off the rails, what she could do to be more helpful, and what she could do even in the daily things of life. And she did not like to be told what to do. One of the things he said, and appears actually in the cameos, which are at the back of the CE edition, one thing he told her was to leave all the minutiae of her life to him so that she could attend to what she needed to do, that was to perform miracles. Well, at one point she wanted to buy a new coat, and she was a very classy woman and shopped only in the best stores in New York City. And she wanted to buy a new winter coat. And Jesus told her to go to Klein's bargain basement, like just a regular department store in their bargain basement. Well, she was furious. She loved shopping, and shopping was under her control. And to have Jesus tell her where to go to buy this coat was really upsetting. But she listened. And what ended up happening was she found a better coat than what she went looking for. And Helen was, one of her specialties was working with children who had mental disabilities. In those days, they were, they were called retarded. So children with mental disabilities. So she goes into Klein's bargain basement looking for a coat. The salesman who helped her turned out to be a man whose daughter had mental disabilities. And Helen ended up counseling him and telling him where he could go and get help for her. So Jesus basically said to her after, you see, he knew. So that's just one of the examples in her life. So she didn't like the practical teachings. So what does she do? She omits them. She's taking down this dictation and she's reading it to Bill Thetford, who types it up. She leaves this out. Some of it gets into what Bill is typing, But when it comes to editing, putting the material into the published version, what was to be the published version, she left it all out. Basically, more than 45,000 words that were originally dictated to her were taken out of the published edition. And it was almost all the practical information. The miracle principles, which in the published version of A Course in Miracles take up 4 pages, in the CE take up 53. There are 50 miracle principles. They take up 53 pages. And that's because all of the extra material was left out. All, like, the miracle principle would be given in the original published version, but not all the extra material Jesus gave. All the personal examples, all the details that he wanted in there were left out. And it was basically just because she didn't want to be told what to do. And that was it. So what happened in the early years of this century was that on the internet, something appeared called the urtext. Urtext being the original material. And that was Bill Thetford's typewritten material of the dictations. So this urtext is the original typewritten material. So you see crossing outs here and there, Helen's notes in the margins. So they appeared mysteriously. And then later, what appeared mysteriously were Helen Chuckman's shorthand notebooks, the actual notebooks where she took down all the dictation in her own handwriting, using Greg's shorthand plus also her own symbols that she made up. So these appeared, and this opened up us at the Circle of Atonement to looking more deeply. It's not only us, but other people as well, but really got us looking more deeply at what was going on here. So this was shorthand material. So Robert Perry developed a key based on what was Greg's shorthand. Plus, he went back to the typewritten material. He looked at the shorthand notebooks. He looked at the published version and worked out a key to find out exactly what Helen was saying in these notebooks. So, and as he was doing this, he realized how much had been left out. That's when he discovered all this extra material. And so since the Circle's approach is to be as faithful as possible to the teachings of the Course, it made sense to be as faithful as possible to the original material. And over the years, before we became involved in the published version of the Course, the Foundation for Inner Peace published version, there were several edits made over the years. Several different editions came out. Helen was the lead editor for every one of them, so obviously she kept leaving out all that practical information. And every new edition was based on the last one. So they never went back to the original material, which Robert decided to do. If you're going to be faithful to the teachings of the Course, be faithful to what was originally written. So I was part of the editorial committee. Linda very graciously said that I was an author or an editor. I wasn't. Robert Perry was the editor. Greg Mackey was the assistant editor, and I was part of the editorial team. And yes, I was part of the whole process from beginning to end. And James and I did a lot of the transcription. We would sit at our kitchen table with the Robert's transcription key and the shorthand notes. One of us would have the key, one of us would have the notes, and we would match up things. So we would make sure that we typed up what was really there. So that the whole process took over 10 years in the making. And let me see, what did I want to say? Yeah, so the miracle were expanded upon. Robert included footnotes that are very helpful, that expand the meaning, that answer puzzling questions, clarify certain points. There are in the back of the Course 33 cameos where Jesus talked about things like as I mentioned, the minutia, leave the minutia to me. So that whole situation with Helen and the quote is in there. Examples of miracles are in there. A section on Edgar Casey and how he basically died before his time because he refused to listen to Jesus about how many healing miracles he should be performing. There's a Course's version of the Lord's Prayer in there. And as I said earlier, how a day can go off the tracks. And was there a physical resurrection? So amazing, beautifully written cameos as well. So actually, what I wanted to show you on, I'm going to share my screen for a moment here.
Are you about ready, my dear? Pardon? Are you about ready?
So I think you can see this. And there's some background noise. If someone would mute, please, that would be great. Okay. Oh, and remember, I forgot this. I had asked you last week to please, if you were willing, to show your faces, to turn your video on, because I much prefer to look at people rather than just names on the screen. So after I do this screen share, if you're willing to do that, that would be really wonderful. And actually, some of you did do that, so thank you. Okay, so here is the first page of in Helen's shorthand notebook. So it was the absolute first page. And so you can see, I think I've got it about as big as I can get it here. Nope, I can even get it bigger for you. That might be too big, actually. But let me just go up to here. The first words that are in the new edition are, "You will see miracles through your hands, through me." And then the first thing to remember about miracles is that there is no order of difficulty among them. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. So this is what we were working with, and this is the original material that Helen took down in her shorthand notebooks. And I'm going to stop that share now. And this is what they ended up in. This is A Course in Miracles, the complete and annotated edition. And as you can see, it's a hefty one. It's heavy, but it's amazing. And the experiences, well, Linda has already shared some experiences, but the experiences people have been sharing with us are that it just has changed their relationship with the Course completely. It makes things so much more accessible, so much more understandable. Aha, that's what that theoretical stuff means, because there are practical applications in there. And so in trying to retain the original words, we've also tried to to let the Course's nature, its nature and its meaning really shine through. And I told you last week that when I first started to read A Course in Miracles, I knew that this was Jesus speaking. When after 30 years with the Course, when I started to first work with putting this CE together and then practicing it in my daily life, I felt very clearly, and I still feel, that when I read this book, Jesus is not only speaking to me, he's right here with me. And he's saying, look at this, Mary. Look at how your life went off the track today. Here, look at what you can do. So it's made it much, much, much more personal and much more relevant. So I think at this point, Sheila, I'll ask you just to share the beautiful PowerPoint slide that you made. Not that one of me. Yeah, this one. Okay. So I'm going to leave this with you. I don't want to go over all of this. This is contact information for the Circle of Atonement, for Circle News, which is a weekly newsletter, for podcasts that Robert Perry and Emily Bennington do regularly, and for Course Companions, which is the Circle's community of people studying the Course. And the goal of Course Companions is to take people through the whole course, through the text, the workbook, the manual. And so we have weekly classes during this whole COVID-19 period. We've had daily classes for people, just to help them have a sense of community and help them go through this period. And there's bi-weekly Sunday gatherings and occasional classes, webinars as well. And there's information here at the bottom. Actually, I think, Sheila, you said that you were going to put this in the newsletter as well. So this information will be there. And so this complete and annotated edition of CE is available through Amazon.ca. It's also available through us here at Course Companions, and our contact information is there as well. So for some reason, okay. I didn't stop my share, but my screen Oh yeah, that was your screen share, right? Okay, I'm just getting confused about the screen shares here. Okay, so back to the second part of my talk, which is about the Course and the world situation. So last week I said that the Course came into being because two people decided that they wanted to find a better way to live in their world. And they meant mainly their work world. This is what they wanted for themselves. So it became clear right from the beginning that this was much more than something that related to their world. It related to the world. And if you recall, I said that Jesus told them that the world situation was worsening at an alarming rate, and he needed people to come forth and help with humanity's spiritual progress. And that Helen, by agreeing to take down the dictation from Jesus, was doing her part in that. So it started with them and then radiated out to the whole world. And they became what he called special agents. And I think we're all called to be special agents in this celestial speed up, as Jesus also called it. So we know, I don't have to tell you this, and it was mentioned right at the beginning, and it was mentioned in the songs and the prayers. We're living in very, very challenging times. That was the word you used, Susan, right at the beginning, and I think that's a really good word. It's a word of uncertainty, a lot of fear-mongering, upheaval, crisis on so many levels: socio-political, environmental, human rights, health issues, COVID-19, obviously, and all the racial issues that have come to the fore: Black Lives Matter, Indigenous reparation. In the world, there have been a lot of heightened feelings of fear, of anger, of confusion, and that's produced a lot of polarization and seeing other people as enemies. So how can the Course help us live in this world and deal with all of this? So basically, we need to find a place of stability in this world, a stable place that we're not seeing and hearing about in a lot of the news that we're either watching or hearing. Yes, obviously. So the Course teaches us how to find this peace. And it's founded on this unshakable truth that's been mentioned by a couple of you in what you've said here today. The truth that is not your truth or my truth, it's the truth. It's an absolute universal truth that we all were created by a loving God of equal worth and infinite holiness. And all of us deserving of the happiness and the peace and the safety and freedom that is our birthright as being created by a loving God. It seems that, well, hold on for a minute. That was what I wanted, holding on to something else here. Okay, this truth is a truth that we're all one. You know that as Unity members, and that everything that every one of us does affects everyone else. We affect everyone else, and we're affected by everyone else. The Course says we all gain or lose together. We all come home together or not at all. So it's not about my own salvation, my own freedom. It's about ours because we are all one. So this is a truth to stand for and to side with. And I think this is what these times are calling us to do. They've definitely been calling me to do that. I told you last week that one of my favorite quotes is, "Your starting point is truth and you must return to this beginning." And I keep going back to that. So how the Course helps me through my daily studies, my daily practices, is taking me back to what is true and what is real, reminding me that even though it seems as if there's so many real problems in the world, there's really only one at the source of all of them. And that problem is that we think we're separate and apart. It's a belief in separation. So if we could only realize that we're all together in this, that we're not separate and apart, and no matter what appearances may indicate, there would be no us and them. There'd be no trying to gain over other people's loss. There would be peace in this world, and it would begin with us. So the Course is helping me not judge. Then again, through my daily practices. Everyone, according to the Course, we know is a holy son of God, whether or not he remembers it, acts through it, and lives it. And that's been very important for me following the election process in the United States. That that politicians, people in charge, are holy sons of God, no matter how they appear. It's really important teaching. The Course says that everyone is worthy of complete courtesy and full appreciation. And I talked last week about this being a course in teaching us how to be miracle workers. And it starts really by going beyond the appearances, by looking for that essential truth and holiness in everyone, with forgiving and treating our brothers as equals. Essential to this path is treating everybody as an equal with loving kindness. And Jesus at one point says, when you meet anyone, remember it's a holy encounter. As you see him, you will see yourself. As you treat him, you will treat yourself. As you think of him, you will think of yourself. Never forget this, for in him you will find yourself or lose sight of yourself. So, of course, has been helping me really in these times learn this. Another really important thing is the Course is helping me find a place of peace within. And Jesus says, in peace I was created, in peace do I remain. So we were created in the peace of God. It has never left us. It is deep within us. And so in these times of uncertainty, it's so important to be in that place of peace, what Jesus calls the quiet center. And those of you who are Course students will know the section in the Course called I Need Do Nothing. There is a section in the Course about that, and there's a lengthy cameo that Robert has included about how Jesus used this to help Helen. Her life was what he called a hurricane, very, very stormy. And she was very, as I said last week, kind of very excitable and a very tense, anxious person. And what he said to her was that there was a place of peace, a quiet center within her that she could always go to. And if she went to that place, that quiet center, she would be, I'll give you the actual quote. This quiet center in which you do nothing will remain with you, giving you rest in the midst of every busy doing on which you are sent. For from this center you will be directed how to use the body sinlessly. So this quote, I need do nothing, is sometimes taken to mean, well, I don't need to do anything. Course says, I don't need to do anything, so I'll just sit here and take care of myself and attend to my own healing. But what Jesus really says here, if you heard what I said, was that every busy doing on which you're sent. So what we're asked to do is to accept our holiness, reach for a holy instant in which time and space disappear, we come into the eternal present, and we connect with that quiet center. And from that quiet center, we're sent on every busy doing. Doesn't mean we sit here doing nothing. It means we ask. And so asking has become very, very important to me in all of this. What do you want me to do? Where do you want me to go? What do you want me to say? And to whom do you want me to say it? Jesus says, this alone I need, that you will hear the words I speak and give them to the world. You are my voice, my eyes, my feet, my hands, through which I save the world. The self from which I call to you is but your own. To him we go together. Take your brother's hand, for this is not a way we walk alone. And to him I walk with you, and you with me. So I try to stand on that place of the truth of what we are, what I am and what we are. I try to connect with that place of peace that Jesus is talking about, the peace in which I was created, in which I remain. I try to make that quiet center within myself, and then go in peace to do what I'm called to do, to go where I'm called to go. Very bit more difficult in these COVID-19 days, but there are ways. Just on an evening walk to greet someone, as I mentioned in last week's time. So another argument that's used from the Course is, well, the Course says the world is not real. So why bother doing anything in the world? Well, the world may not be real, but I am dreaming that I'm living in this world, and it needs my love, and everyone in it and everything, every living thing in it needs my love. Course in Miracles says that the only real purpose for our being here is for the healing of God's creations, all living things. And that love is expressed through seeing with the eyes of Christ. It's through healing my mind, not judging, forgiving, seeing with the eyes of Christ. But it's also expressed through the body. At one point, Jesus says that as long as you're in a body, love is meant to be expressed through that body. So how am I called in these uncertain days, in these times of dissension and all of this to express love? Another quote that's sometimes misunderstood is, the sole responsibility of the miracle worker is to accept atonement himself. So there again, it's just all about me. Well, it's not all about me. If you go further in that passage where that quote is, the idea is we accept healing for ourselves, atonement for ourselves, the undoing of all of our misthought or of our wrong thinking, so that we can extend that to others, so that we can help others undo their wrong thinking, so we can help them heal. So Jesus's picture in this course is a very humanitarian vision. It's about where we walk together. We're guided by the Holy Spirit. We let Jesus direct us even in the minutia, and we go about doing what we're called to do for the healing of the world, taking our essential part in God's plan for salvation. So we're called in these times not to give in to fear, to stand behind the truth, to stand for love. So the world's not real. It's a dream in which we see ourselves separate and apart, concerned mostly about ourselves. But while we're dreaming in this physical world, let's do what we're called to do to relieve our brother's pain and suffering. Let's take our place, as Jesus says, so long unfulfilled in God's plan for salvation, the healing of all of God's Son. So however we do that is between us and the Holy Spirit and Jesus. But let us not think, any of us, that we don't have a part to play in the healing of our brothers and sisters of all living things. So walking this path is seeing the world and everything in it differently, as you said earlier, Linda, with the eyes of Christ, undoing our egos and our egocentrism, and extend miracles to all living things. To continue healing our minds, remaining in a place of peace, seeing with Christ's vision, and doing our part. And also trusting that the world is governed by a power not of this world, a power not of me, but in me, and that it has our best interests at heart. And so while going about the busy doings in which we are sent, we can rest in God and place the future in his hands and stand together, as that beautiful song said earlier. So I've covered a lot there. Now I'd like to take you into time of meditation, so you can, a meditation to help you rest in God. This is lesson 109 in the workbook of the course, I Rest in God. I ask for peace today and quietness unshaken by the world's appearances. I ask for peace and stillness in the midst of all the turmoil born of clashing dreams. I ask for safety and for happiness, although I seem to look on danger and on sorrow. I rest in God. This thought will bring to me the rest and quiet, peace and stillness, and the safety and the happiness I seek. This thought has power to wake the sleeping truth in me, whose vision sees beyond appearances to that same truth in everyone and everything that is. I rest in God. Here is the end of suffering for all the world and everyone who ever came and yet will come to linger for a while. Here is the thought in which the Son of God is born again to recognize himself. I rest in God. This thought will carry me completely undismayed through storms and strife, past misery and pain, past loss and death, and onward to the certainty of God. There is no suffering this thought cannot heal, no problem that it cannot solve. No appearance but will turn to truth before my eyes as I rest in God. I rest in God. In him, I have no cares and no concerns, no burdens, no worries, no anxiety, no pain, no fear of future, and no past regrets. And while the world is torn by winds of hate, my rest remains completely undisturbed, for mine is the rest of truth. I rest in God and sink into stillness. I rest in God and slip away from dreams and into the peace of God, where I rest quiet and unafraid. No more fearful dreams will come now that I rest in God. My mind is still now and thankfully accepts its healing. I rest in God and call to all my brothers to join me in my rest. For my peace is incomplete as long as they are not at peace. I call to them, and they will hear and come to rest with me. The world is born again each time I rest. It is nearer waking now because I bring the peace of God to all the worn and tired minds, that they may take their rest along with me, and then with hope reborn and energy restored, walk on with lightened steps. I rest in God and let him work in me and through me, while I rest in him in quiet and perfect certainty. I will be faithful to my trust today, forgetting no one and bringing everyone into the boundless circle of my peace, the holy sanctuary where I rest. And I will remind them of their resting place each time I tell myself, I rest in God, and we will rest in God together. And as we come out of this quiet time, let's remember this. I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent you who sent me. I have no need to worry about what to say or what to do, for you who sent me will direct me. I'm content to be where you will and go where you will, knowing that you go with me. And I trust that I will be healed as I let you teach me to heal. Amen.
Close my eyes, I open my heart. I'll take a deep breath, let the healing start. I lift my hands, I plant my feet, I let love in. I feel the beat that's calling us to rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. I'm ready, my soul, I clear my mind. I'm here and now, in present time. The power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark. Oh, we rise as one. Oh, rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. Oh, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me, rise in me. I sing to you, I sing to you, you sing to me, you sing to me. Change up this noise, make sweet harmony. Come on and rise, oh rise, spirit rise up, rise in me. Oh, oh rise, rise, spirit rise up, rise in me, rise in me. Heart to heart, hand in hand, no turning back, onward to promised land. Do you feel the power of 1,000 suns lighting up the dark? Oh, we rise as one. brighter, brighter. So come lift your hands up, jump for the sky, going higher, yeah. Rise up, come raise your voice and shout. The light, brighter, brighter. Rise up, come on and rise up.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Are we blessed? I am Marianne. I will share more later, but I am so grateful for the wisdom and the depth, the intimate understanding you have of this massive, epic journey of how to return home. Thank you. So with all of that, we've been nourished spiritually, soulfully. We've been uplifted by music. We have been expanded by prayer. And this is what our community does. Every Sunday, we're here just as an opportunity, as an option, as an invitation to become more of who we really are, the truth of who we are, to begin to surrender all that we're not and embrace all that we are. And so from that place, we turn now to an opportunity to give back to USCO in this give and receive universe, to say, yes, I am nourished. And the board of directors, is absolutely grateful for all of you who have supported us, because this keeps us going. And for those of you who are new or are contemplating maybe what you're hearing is worthwhile, then please consider from the generosity of your own abundant nature to give. So let us know our abundance together. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I have and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And we can donate through a number of options here by using the donate button on our new website, unityottawa.org. Download the Tidely app and make sure you go to Unity Church of Ottawa. That's our official financial name or whatever. So you need to go search Unity Church of Ottawa, and the Tidely app is quite easy to use, I'm told. And the other option is sending an e-transfer through your bank, your personal banking account, to officeunityottawa@yahoo.ca. So let us bless our center. Together, Unity Spiritual Center is abundantly blessed. Creative people are drawn to us. Divine ideas flow through us. Financial resources bless us, and we accomplish mighty works together. And is that not true? It is so. We are witnessing it today. And we get to witness this beautiful black-throated green warbler that Sheila spoke to us about last week, the warbler of the month. And this little bird, this beautiful bird, is probably already on her epic journey back to the south. Oh, they're so inspiring. And how glorious we get to bless Susan Hagar's kids. Well, kids, I say they're more like young adults now, aren't they? Look at them, just in all their glory and their radiance. So let us turn our attention, let us open our hearts and rivet our love on these beautiful children. We have, sorry, I cannot see the bottom. Hopefully you can on the slide. I'm not able to. I know there's Sean and Katie, and there's Laura, and there's Sam, and I apologize. I'm not sure who the little one, I'm missing one. 5 children. So bless them all. And maybe Sue can come on later and correct me. So together, you are the peace, the love, and the light of this world. Let your light shine. So letting our light shine, which gets us to shine our gratitude on all those who've been of service today. And first of all, our speaker, Marianne, really, what an opportunity. I was riveted by the stories, by your background, insider info on Helen and Bill and their humanness. And really, you made, I think with this new edition, I bought it recently and it's glorious. It is, suddenly everything has become so much more real. And Jesus, whom I prefer to call Yeshua, Jesus becomes like a brother, this wise, loving guide. Like I feel like a personal relationship with him, and so I also appreciated that you took some rather challenging aspects of the course, those that have been easily misunderstood, and really clarified the intention that Jesus had for those, as well as that we are all created by a loving God. There is no exception, and that we are all one. And that we affect everyone, just as everyone is affected, just as we are affected by everyone else. And so we are one. And I thank you so much for that. I am grateful that it's recorded too. It's one of those ones that I think I will go back and listen to time after time. I also want to remind you, the audience, congregation, that the slide that came up, that had all the different links, etc. on. Sheila has put that on the website. So there's a section for the community of helpful information, and it is on there. So it's an easy place to find it. I want to thank Lynn. You did, Lynn Atterbury, our music director, great job in selecting just such rich music to support the theme of interconnection this month. Susan, your prayers were expansive. They were beautiful. They really spoke to the truth of who we are. And thank you so much for your bringing your essence and your expansive heart into our service. Penny, thank you. I thought you were channeling Myrtle Fillmore there. It was a perfect healing prayer. And Brenda, I know you jumped on as co-host and you're going to jump on and be my backup if I didn't remember to unmute myself and take the video and turn on the video. So thank you. Thank you for your willingness. Thank you for being host to our November 16th film on Marion Woodward. And it's just, I'm so excited. I'm already thinking about who I can send tickets to. And Sheila, thank you so much. Thank you for being here and putting all this together. And I want to thank each and every one of you that have gifted us with your presence today. And I want to share with you that starting next week, what's up next? Yeah, next week, November 15th, we have Reverend Dr. Martha Creek. She is known by so many of you. She's going to speak on power as presence and presence. So how beautiful is that? And, certainly Deb Martin, who's our communication lead, she has been working with Sheila to give you some extra tools in terms of how to support getting the word out about Martha speaking. And please, we've got posts on Facebook, thanks to Cheryl Driscoll, and please like those and share those. So there's many ways to get this information out, and absolutely glorious to be gifted with Martha Creek's presence next week. A reminder that Sue Hagar is on duty all week, so really and truly take advantage of this beautiful personalized prayer that really just goes so deep, it touches our soul. And to do that, email Sheila at the office and say you want to be put in touch with Susan, and she will do that. The other options are unityottawa.org. download the YouPray app or call Unity, Silent Unity, 24/7 at 1-800-NOW-PRAY. So in closing, I would like to share this beautiful prose from A Course in Miracles, Circle of Atonement, CE for short, on page 14, miracle number 23. You are woefully lovely, a perfect shaft of pure light. Before your loveliness, the stars stand transfixed and bow to the power of your will. What do children know of their creation except what their creator tells them? You were created above the angels because your role involves creation as well as protection. And Jesus goes on to say how he bows with us to the Creator. So this speaks to our original angelic divine blueprint, which we are in the process of connecting back to. So go in beauty this week. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. Join us for fellowship after. We have the prayer of protection. If you want to hold out your hands to receive this prayer, and then energetically in your mind's eye, we're holding hands with each and every person on this service today for our final closing song. So be well.